I want to read a poem to you that I found, and this is how it goes. I saw my life branching out before me, like the green fig tree in the story. From the tip of every branch, like a fat purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a husband and a happy home and children, and another fig was a famous poet, and another fig was a brilliant professor. I saw myself sitting in the crotch of this fig tree, starving to death, just because I couldn't make up my mind which of the figs I would choose. I wanted each and every one of them, but choosing one meant losing all the rest. And as I sat there, unable to decide, the figs began to wrinkle and go black, and one by one, they plopped to the ground at my feet. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Octavia. I'm a full-time artist, specifically specializing in photography and videography. I like to talk about art, pop culture, and media, and my personal opinions and experience working with it. Today I saw something on TikTok that prompted me to even make this video in the first place. I feel like it really struck a personal chord with me. The fig tree analogy by Sylvia Plath has been going pretty viral on TikTok. I actually saw it late last year and I was like, oh yeah, you know what, I can kind of relate to this kind of like decision paralysis. There's so many options that it kind of feels overwhelming to just choose one, because how do you know which one to choose? And what if I choose the wrong one? And what happens to all the other choices that I don't pick? Is everything all for nothing? Does it really even matter if I make a choice at all? And as you already saw from the intro, I did include an excerpt of me reading it. I felt like it was the perfect way to set the tone for this video, and just so you could get familiar with this poem, just in case you haven't heard it, because you know it's new to me too. I actually haven't read the full book that it's from. It's called The Bell Jar, but even without reading the book, I still felt like the poem that I read was so powerful that I still was able to form my own personal opinion. And I kind of want to just like have this cozy, artsy little chat, because I feel like there's space for it on the internet, and because I feel like it's space for it, I'm gonna do it. And I feel like this poem could really touch someone else out there in a, you know, impactful way. So why not come on YouTube and have like a little discussion about it? There's like parts of the poem that I really agree with, and there's parts of the poem that I really don't, and I kind of just want to share my perspective about it. So I hope that we can get cozy together and have like an open and honest conversation about this poem. It's kind of hot in here, but I need to have something on my arms, because then I'll get too cold. So it's like a never-ending battle for comfortability. But I have some notes here because I don't want to forget some key points that I really want to mention about this fig tree analogy from Sylvia Plath in her book The Bell Jar. So, as you heard from the intro before, it is about a woman who is sitting underneath a fig tree, and she sees this giant fig tree branching out with figs that are full of different possibilities. So yeah, she sees all of these figs that represent different realities and possibilities that she could choose, and you know, she has this sort of like decision fatigue, decision paralysis, and ends up choosing nothing, and she feels herself starving to death and still can't pick a fig to feed herself. And ultimately she watches those figs wither away and fall to the ground spoiled. It was like, reading that was so vivid, and I was like, I can see this picture in my head bright as day. And not only that, I definitely have struggled with the possibilities of choice. especially in today's age where there's like so many possibilities that are prevalent for you to make, for you to choose. Like I mentioned in my intro, I am an artist. I'm a photographer, I do videography work, but before that, I had way more dreams. Like I had many more passions that I wanted to follow, that I thought that I would be doing when I was a kid and teenager. But ultimately, that's not what I chose my career path to be in this very specific moment. And I definitely did struggle a bit to narrow it down, just like she did. Immediately upon reading this poem, I was like, oh my God, I'm sure every artist on this planet in every corner of the world can relate to this, because, you know, there's so much fear that comes with choosing the passion of like being an artist and just overall following your dreams at all. Like, is this gonna pay the bills? Are people gonna be disappointed that I chose this? Because let's face it, most parents and most people don't believe that being an artist can like sustain you financially. But I would definitely say it's possible, because here I am, and who would have fucking thought? I mean, I did, but like they didn't. So like I can totally understand the fear, the frustration, the paralysis, and the decision-making process of following your dreams and choosing that proverbial fig, you know what I mean? I mentioned that fig tree analogy going viral on TikTok. I'll put up like the TikTok that I saw, and as you can see, it's like a fig tree, and they have like the different lives that they could have chose, and I wanted to make my own so that you could see like what some of my old passions were. Like, I had so many dreams and so many passions that I thought would turn into careers for me or life paths for me, and it honestly didn't even turn out in that way. I wanted to be a musician, I wanted to be a chef, I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to do so many things as a career, but ultimately I cannot do all of those things at once. And that's where I kind of relate with the poem, like seeing all of these possibilities in front of me. I love so many things and I'm passionate about so many things. I could totally see my life as a musician on the road, like doing shows every night, signing autographs, talking to people about my music. I could see myself being like a Michelin star chef, and I'm making the most delicious food you've ever tasted and watching people enjoy what I make. You know what I mean? Like I can see these, and I still can even today as an adult. But I know as an adult that it's not possible to do all of those things at once, especially at the level where you're an expert in it. That's just reality. In this fig tree analogy, I feel like it's really honing in on this fear of choice and this fear of choosing the wrong option. It's just like reading this poem, there's obviously this deep sense of fear of missing out. And it may not be like in a societal sense, but like it's like a interpersonal way. Like you feel like you're missing out on your own life. When I was in school, they always taught us that choosing any answer was better than choosing no answer at all. And I kind of feel like that can be applied to this poem and this analogy as well. No matter what dream you pick, it will ultimately be better than picking no dream at all and having this deep sense of regret and letting this fear consume you and just feeling like you are voided of a fulfilling and enriching life. Like this part in the poem where she says, I wanted each and every one of them, but choosing one meant losing all the rest. Like, this poem is obviously very metaphorical, And I feel like this fig tree that is like growing these beautiful figs, you don't have to pick all of these figs at once. Like, these figs represent dreams. You do not have to follow all of your dreams at once. Just like you don't have to pick all of these figs at once. I read that part and I was like, well, why do you have to choose them all? Why can't you just choose what you can carry at this point in time and, you know, let these dreams flourish. You enjoy them, you work as hard as you can to develop them, and then once you're fulfilled, you're satiated with that fig, with that dream, you can move on and pick the next fig, which was maybe like, for me, like, let's say I'm doing photography right now. I pick my photography fig and I'm like enjoying it. I'm like satiated, I'm fulfilled. And now I feel like, okay, I want to pick my musician fig because I'm at such a good place in my photography. I want to see what can happen with this musical fig I hold in my hand. And honestly, I am literally in that phase right now. As you know from my New Year's vlog, I've been practicing the guitar since January and I have made such amazing progress. And if I had felt like, oh my God, like I already am a photographer, I've already followed that passion, I have to stick with that passion until I die, why would I ever pick up the guitar? I would honestly be devastated with myself if I had that train of thought. You are not glued to just one career, one passion for the rest of your life. On average, we're living to 75 years old, and you mean to tell me for the rest of my life I can only do photography and videography work? No. And you see, when you put these big emotions and fears and doubt into perspective, like on a broader scale of your life and how you want things to go, you see like just how silly that is and how self-sabotaging it can be, because we are way too multifaceted and way too multidimensional to just be glued to one thing forever. You can have multiple interests at once as long as you are like making dedicated time to grow in each one of those passions, right? Trust me, I 110% recognize the fear of choice, because what if you choose the wrong one? But like when you read the poem and you see all of these like very sweet and endearing like realities that she has for these figs and possibilities, they're all positive. Just like all of your dreams, I'm so sure they're positive. Just like mine were. No one is like hoping that they're doing the most reckless, dangerous things ever. Like, no. So why are you scared of choosing the wrong one? They're all great. They were all great options when you saw them in the fig tree, when you saw them in your mind. So why would choosing one be bad? How could you choose wrong when they were all great? Like, I can't stop saying that, because how could you choose wrong if they were all great? And like I said, you don't have to just choose one. You choose what you can carry, and until you like are fulfilled and you feel satisfied and satiated, and then you pick another one. And it's like a never-ending cycle that repeats itself until it is time for you to move on from this plane of existence, right? You know, that's like a very poetic way of saying, you know, so this is what I have written down in my notes in reference to when she says that she was scared of choosing the wrong fig. I said, someone like me reads this and thinks, I'll just grab what I can and save the rest for later. I'll grab what I can and save the rest for later once I've had my fill. because inevitably I'll always become hungry again. I'll never stop picking from my fig tree. And I just like thinking of like the fig tree. Like, I just love how she chose figs because, you know, they're really sweet. Just like your dreams, your passions, your hobbies. Like, all of these things are just like really sweet and tender in nature, you know? Just like the idea of just like consuming a fig and like consuming your dreams, like following your dreams, following your hobbies, and becoming satiated once you've indulged yourself in that, and then moving on into the next fig to continuously feed yourself, feed that hunger to always, you know, be doing something that you enjoy. I know, I just think that's really beautiful. And I read that and I was like, wow, like life is just so sweet, so adorable, isn't it? Even though that poem, you know, like isn't the sweetest when you read it. I am just an optimist at heart. It's the Sagittarius in me. I can't help it. I read that and I see a silver lining. I see a new perspective that can be had about the beauty in choice, especially when there's no wrong choice when it comes to following your dreams or your hobbies. I don't agree with that. There's a right way to go about it, but it's never wrong to choose your passions or your dreams. Never. Never. And I am saying that as someone who grew up very underprivileged in a single parent home. Struggle was no stranger to me, and even still, I found a way to follow my dreams, which I am proud of myself for doing so each and every freaking day. That's why I'm sitting on my bed today making this video and talking about this poem, because I think that it's really powerful. I don't think that it's sad. There's a melancholic aspect to it, but I just always feel like there's a bright side to this poem. And when I read it, I was like, wow, I have been there. I lived there for a really long time, not knowing what to choose, wondering if this was the wrong choice. And then I did the work. I did like the healing, the work, the dedication to wanting to be better, to wanting to be fulfilled. And like, I am so better for it. So if you are in the place right now of feeling fatigued with the amount of choices that you could make and wondering if this is like the right choice for you, if it's in your heart, I would say that it is. I would say 100% that it's the right choice. There is a right and wrong way to go about pursuing them, but you are never wrong for choosing your goals, your passions, and your dreams. Just love the idea, the metaphor of this like big, beautiful tree that holds so many options for the future that you could have, and like the idea of like picking fruit, picking the right one. Like, is this hobby ripe enough? Is it fully developed enough for me to pick it? And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I'm trying to find, you know, interesting ways to tie in pop culture, media, and art, and artsy things, and like an engaging way in long form video format for YouTube. I just think that it's fun and entertaining. I love watching content like this, and I'm a yapper. I have things to say. But yeah, I'm so glad I saw that TikTok, and I was like in a headspace where I was feeling ready to talk about it and give my opinions and perspective on it. I like feel so much better getting that off my chest and just like saying my honest thoughts. I hope that you at least found this video entertaining. And if you have your own opinions and perspective after listening to that poem and hearing this entire video, let me know what you think in the comments. If you've seen a few of my videos and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope that you would subscribe after seeing this video. And if this is your first time seeing my face, I hope that this video was entertaining enough for you to want to stick around for more, because I definitely plan to do more cozy artsy talk videos. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!